Good morning. I hope I find you all well. I want to talk about my frustrations. My frustrations mainly on the direction this planet is going and the ignorance of people failing to see what's coming and what's here now. Um, you've only got to look around you to see the evidence. They want to microchip us all. This microchip is only the size of a grain of rice, and they want to implant it in between your thumb and your forefinger. This microchip will hold your medical records, plus your bank details. So instead of going to the supermarket and using one of these, basically you would just go to the checkout, they will scan your chip, and the money will be deducted from your bank to pay for your groceries. Yeah. Now, I think personally it's a step too far. If they want to give us an identification card, ID card, fine, no problem with that. But when they want to start putting microchips in your body, I think it's a step too far, and they got no right to do so. Now I hear people say, "Oh yeah, but you got a mobile phone. The mobile phone's tracing." Yeah, okay, valid point. But you can choose to leave your bank cards at home. You can choose to leave your mobile phone at home. But with a microchip implant, you have no choice. Wherever you go, it goes, and these satellites will know where you are and everything you're doing every second of the day. And is that really a world you want to live in? More importantly, is that a world you want your children to grow up in, and your grandchildren? Because long after we're gone, they're going to have to live with this. And I'm certainly not happy about it, and I'd rather die. I came into this world without a microchip in me, and I will go out of this world, exit this world without a microchip in me. Elon Musk is talking about putting microchip in your brain to give us super enhanced powers. I mean, it's crazy. It's just going too far. You know, they want to turn us into half robot, half human, and then how long before we use all our empathy and all our human qualities, and we become just machine. Reminds me of the song by Pink Floyd, "Welcome to the Machine." But ask yourself, is this the world you want to live and for your children to grow up in? And also, those of you that are awake will realise that and know about the social credit system that's in play in China at the moment, where you're awarded a social credit score, and if your score falls below a certain level, then you lose the right to even use public transport. I've been told recently Australia is taking up this program, and no doubt it will happen in America and even here in the UK. That's not a system we should want to be in, to be fair. And let's not pretend. I mean, it's obvious that the powers that be invented terrorism as a scare tactic, so that people would accept these measures, when the people that are screaming terrorism are the biggest terrorists going. You've only got to look at the wars that America's been fighting in the last 200 years to understand they create terrorism. They're the biggest terrorists going. If my country was invaded by another country, and another country was planting IEDs, improvised explosive devices, on our streets, killing our children, our family, wouldn't we behave exactly the same way? Of course we would. It would be no different. So you can't blame these people for acting the way they do when they're invaded by a foreign country and their families are being killed and wiped out. But the powers that be exaggerate terrorism, and they use it as a tool to scare you, to make you believe, oh yeah, I must have the chip. We must know where everyone is, what everyone's doing. Yeah, look at the bigger picture. And I want to talk about Bill Gates, the man behind this vaccine. What does he know about medical? He invented Windows, computers. He can't even cure a virus on a computer. How does he think he's going to cure a virus in us humans? But it's not about that. He stands to make trillions globally off this vaccine. And I certainly don't want their poisons pumped into me. But apparently, if you don't have this vaccine, you face imprisonment, and you will be an outcast of society, because you won't be able to work, you won't be able to buy food, you won't be able to do anything. And it's the same as the microchip. You cannot buy or sell without it. For those of you not awakened, you want to look up Agenda 21. It's all about cutting the world's population down. And research the Georgia Guidestones. They weigh hundreds of tons of granite, solid granite. They're in the middle of Georgia, in the middle of nowhere. And it's 10 commandments, the Illuminati's 10 commandments, written in, I think it's 5 different languages. And the very top commandment is they want to cut the world's population down to 500 million. That's 500 million. So they want to exterminate 6.5 billion people on this planet. Think about that. What rights have they got? Now, what saddens me is when I've worked on many building sites, and I've talked to people about the microchip just to see people's opinions, and then scarily for me, the amount of people that say, "Well, I've got nothing to hide. I'd have the microchip," but you're missing the bigger picture. It's taking away your freedom. Slowly over the years, all our human rights have been eroding away, and that is the final straw. You will be a slave, because you won't be able to do anything without them knowing about it. And what right have they got? And have you forgot? Politicians, just like the police, are elected to serve us. They are public servants. But because they have become corrupt, they are only serving themselves. They've become self-servitive. We need to stand up, right, and remind them of this. Now, I suggest that all politicians should, when they're elected, right, they should go on a 12-month probation period. And after 12 months, they're reviewed. And if they are found to be serving the public and doing their job properly, then their contract is renewed. And if they're found not to be serving us as paid, as elected, then they should be removed. That's the only way to end corruption. So, you need to think about that. Now, I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in revolution. There is an answer to this, believe it or not, right? And that is non-compliance. What does that mean? It means nobody goes to work. Bring the economy to a standstill. When they're losing billions, they will listen. Because, they care about their stupid economies and their money and their power. I mean, I admire the French. They don't take no nonsense. They burned the tax office down years ago, and they certainly don't take any nonsense. Not like us British, we're a bunch of couch whingers who want change, but we just sit on our asses and moan and do nothing. That needs to change, because if it doesn't, we're all doomed, and it'll be game over. And I think a few years ago, I seen Egypt. They didn't like their leader, and he was adamant he was staying. He said, "I'm your leader. You better damn well get used to it. I'm staying." But they took to the streets, and they stayed on the streets, and they didn't move, and they removed him. And you know what? 2 weeks later, they didn't like his replacement, so they removed him too. And the biggest fear the government has is that you realising that you have the power. We have the power. There is a lot more of us than there is of them. But I hear people say, "Yeah, but I've got children to feed. I can't do that." Yes, you can. Because you only got to put a few quid aside. It would only take 3 weeks maximum to accomplish that. And, it's doable. It really is doable. You just got to want to do it. You just got to want change. And we must all change and bring change. Because if we don't, there will never be any change. But going back to this microchip, the rich people that run this world, the 1% who has more money than the rest of the 99%. They don't care about money. They have all the money they could ever want. What they care about is power, and this is what this microchip's all about. It's power. Yeah. Now, I don't ask you to believe anything of what I tell you. Yeah. But I believe over the coming months, what I've said will become visible, and research what I've told you. Yeah, and see for yourself. Yeah. And then ask yourself, is this the life you really want? Is this the life you want to leave behind for your children? Think about it.